All right, I'm out here on the range today, and we're going to talk about the efficiency of your draw stroke, your presentation from the holster, particularly in terms of the proximity of the gun to your body and the orientation phase of pointing the gun at the target. Now, I'm carrying outside the waistband. You could do the same exact thing with appendix. The same principles all apply. In fact, I'll show you that movement when the gun comes out of the holster. What you want to think about is when you realize you need to shoot in that defensive moment, we want to be as efficient as we can coming from the holster, getting into our shooting position. One of the mistakes I see people make is pulling the gun away from their body at all, or pushing the gun forward before it's pointed at the target. Now, while it may seem like you're getting the gun closer to your end goal by pushing it forward as you're turning, you're also working against the kind of draw stroke that you're going to want to have if you're shooting from retention. So from a consistency standpoint, first and foremost, I want to make sure I keep this gun close to my body as I orient it towards the threat. Now at this point, what you're going to see is I can drive this gun straight out to the target, straight out to my eye line, to my ending shooting position very efficiently once it's turned towards the target. If I were to push the gun out here and start to sweep the gun up, it becomes possibly an upward motion here instead of an outward motion that locks the shoulders and locks the body forward. So this staying close to the body, turning the gun, and then driving out seems like a more cumbersome process at first, but what it's going to lead to is a lot more efficiency and a lot more consistency in that first shot presentation. So you're going to come back to the gun, come up, turn, drive out, take that shot as soon as you reach extension. All right, take a look at that again. What we're trying to avoid is this idea of sweeping forward or pulling the gun far from the body and kind of curving back in and around. So we don't want to come back into the body this way either when we're holstering. Again, we're going to come back into that ready position, always pause here before we holster, keep the gun very close to the body, and then drive it back down into the holster. So let's look at that again. So I've realized I need to shoot, or I've been telling the guy, hey, look, stay back, whatever it is. I've decided to shoot. Now I'm going to reach back, get the hand on the gun, come straight up, turn the gun, drive out, take the shot. Now, with a concealment garment, it's absolutely no different. In fact, with a concealment garment, it's all that much more important that you stay close to the body. You can especially see it from this angle here, because that's going to trap that garment against your body and keep you from getting tangled up in it. So I come back, I remove the garment here, come up, stay close to the body, orient, extend, touch, press. Again, same thing. Come back in, pause, back down to the holster. Let's take a look at that again. I'm going to cover it up again. Come back in, pull the garment up, come up, turn, drive out, and shoot. And that extension is an important part of getting set to help manage recoil and all the other things we want to do. Consistent first shot, good point of aim, making sure we can see the sights if we're going to use the sights, making sure we can manage recoil. All that is the extension, that kinesthetically aligned extension, as opposed to sweeping the gun up. It's one of the reasons I don't like a low ready, right? The gun comes in and out, and that final motion of the gun from this orientation phase is driving out. Now I'm going to walk up and get a little closer to the target, and this is what I'm talking about in this retention shooting situation, when I'm in a position where if I were to extend the gun here, obviously this guy could hit the gun, right? If I were even closer, I might poke the gun into the guy. I don't want to do that. If I'm shooting from retention, I'm going to use exactly the same thing. So when I've decided to shoot here, I'm going to come straight up, turn the gun, and now I'm in my retention shooting position, right? So in this case, if I were being encroached upon, if I couldn't back up, if I were pushing a knife out of the way, holding a knife, the guy's at a distance, or if I'm entangled with the guy up in this position, it's exactly the same deal. I'm coming up to here, turning the gun and firing and shooting. So the idea of a consistent draw stroke is really important when we start thinking about exactly what it is we want to accomplish. Keeping that gun close to the body, turning, driving out, taking that shot is the way that you want to handle that. You don't want to swing the gun, you don't want to cast the gun, you don't want to sweep the gun. Keep it close, good 90-degree turn, drive it straight out. Of course, if you think about it, I'm standing here looking at the target, it's the same thing. My eye line dictates the direction the gun's going to point, right? I'm going to realize I need to shoot, come back in, come up, turn the gun, drive out, take that shot. And that's exactly the same movement now if I'm in the appendix carry, right? So if I were in an appendix carry position, I realize I need to shoot, push my hips forward, come straight up out of that holster, turn the gun, drive out, and shoot. And rotating that gun so that it's parallel with my head, my line of sight, before I reach extension. So from here, it's going to be reaching down, pushing forward, driving out, taking that shot. And it's always started with the gun pointed at the target and then driving out to extension.